Namaste. Today we are going to speak about 5 big mistakes on Ayurvedic nutrition. I'm Thiago. Namaste. I work with Ayurveda since 2012, and I have a very deep specialization on food habits and lifestyle. Because in Brazil, we cannot access so easily Ayurvedic medicines, Ayurvedic drugs. So most of my job is to help people to improve their vitality and their life force, their prana, through simple Ayurvedic guidelines. And today we are going to go from food habits and this stuff. The very first one is going to be about you're not your dosha. That means that we are going in a way that if you're vata, pitta, or kapha, this is not going to be very much important because you are actually a metabolic vector. And what do I mean with this concept of metabolic vector? The time of your life, the place that you live, the time of the day, the routine that you're taking, all those things are going to create an aggregate that is going to give you some important vata, pitta, and kapha roles. But this is not necessarily actually your vikriti or disturbance. This is going to be a vector, a gradient that we are going to need to handle. Sometimes that vector is going to be more aggressive to your metabolic balance, sometimes not. Consider mainly the station or the season that you are currently going through. I call this environmental consideration about not only what you eat and not only your routine, but actually your body is eating pressure, temperature, and humidity. Vata, pitta, and kapha all the time. And we are producing that from our digestive process. But these are not necessarily doshas. This can be part of your healthy life. So we are not going to disconsider completely your ectomorphic, your mesomorphic, your endomorphic baseline. These are going to play some roles, but it's not going to be the main concept. The main concept is relating to the season that you are, the place that you're living, how this is increasing the amount of kinetic energy, vata, temperature, heat energy, pitta, and humidity energy, kapha, within you. So maybe sometimes even you're not a vata prakriti, you're going to be needing to eat a lot of anti-vata foods and having an anti-vata lifestyle because you're living in a place where there is a lot of wind, there is a lot of dryness, there is a lot of altitude. For example, when we were in the Ayurvedic Institute in Albuquerque, we were highly vata provoked, but not necessarily that was our prakriti. The prakriti concept is mainly for when you're doing panchashodhana, panchakarma, or intense therapy to mobilize doshas throughout your body. So, number one, you're not your dosha, done. Number two, time is a major concern in Ayurvedic nutrition, or should be. But in general, for the Western nutrition, this is not a main concern. And mainly also in Ayurvedic practitioners, time is not necessarily a major concern. But for us, the kapha, pitta, vata cycles are essential to understand what time you can eat something without disturbing your metabolic balance. In a general and a very broad term, when we sleep, we increase the amount of humidity in our body. And when we go through the day, that humidity is lost. So when we enter the night, that humidity is going to be restored again during the night, and during the day, that humidity is going to get consumed. For example, in Brazil, I'm not so sure if you know what is pão de queijo. It's a kind of a very capa thing. You can consider just like donuts, okay? If you eat donuts in the Vata Kala, in the Vata period of the day, that usually is going to be translated to from 2 to 6 p.m. That's not a precise definition, but whatever. That same donuts, there would be a kind of a catastrophe in the morning, usually specified as 6 to 10 a.m., even though that's not perfect. That same donut, if you eat in a moment where your system is full of mucus, that donut is going to provoke, that donut is going to create a problem to your metabolism. But if the same donut is eaten at 4, 5, 6 p.m., when just like the sun is, the shadow is long, that same donut probably is going to be great, even though the person is a kapha type of person. That means one of the most important things in Ayurveda is time. Time considering the cycles of the day. There is not going to be only Kapha, Pitta, and Vata. There's going to be the difference between a diurnal and a nocturnal phases of this cycle. And those cycles are also going to be a little bit banded and shortened according to metabolical seasons. The concept of metabolical season is not actually there on the calendar. I'm not going to go through that in this video, but if you want to know more about these topics, subscribe to our channel and give your comment. What are you thinking about this video up to now? So time has to be a major concern in our Ayurvedic nutrition because food is digested within the metabolism, not in a lab. So how your metabolism is actually performing in that exact moment will make all the difference. If the sprinkler goes now, that is like 4 p.m. here in Brazil, and the sun is going down 5:36. That moment, the atmospheric pressure is very low, and that water is going to go to the atmosphere, is not going to go to the ground. If that same sprinkler with the same amount of water goes like 6, 7 p.m., when the atmospheric pressure is very high, the effect on that soil, on that body is going to be completely different. So we need to understand that food is going to be digested in a metabolic frame, and that metabolic frame is related to time. So time is a major concern in Ayurvedic nutrition, or has to be. Now, number 3, you can eat in any order. This topic people will not tell you, so hang on. This is going to be very important. One of the most important things that we advocate and that we give a lot of results, and this is going to be very important considering the role of enzymes in our digestion, is that we from Ayurvedic perspective, we have first a stomach, and then we have a small intestine, and then we have, for example, a large intestine. What does that mean? Is that in the Ayurvedic perspective, the stomach is mainly a kapha place where food gets liquefied. And our Western concept is more about the chloridic acid digestion. So in Ayurveda, stomach is going to produce water in our digestion, Small intestine, duodenum, is going to produce fire in our digestive system, and the large intestine is going to produce dryness in our digestive system. And all those roles, they create a huge impact, and you can observe this in your life. Usually when I'm doing online consultations, I don't change so much what people eat, because enzymes are crucial to our digestion. And our microbiota doesn't respond so quickly when we change abruptly the things that we eat. But when you take what you eat and you create a general framework about time in the food of that person, but also in the order of what the person is eating, the amount of energy that you're going to spend for digestion and to be non-vitalized is going to decrease in a very quick and safe way, because we are going to we are going to increase the performance, the productivity of our enzymes, and these enzymes are going to shine. You are going to be cute and happy. That means you're going to have a better digestive performance, because you're going, as the manual of Ayurveda tells you, that the metabolic system works better. So one point is, what you eat in the breakfast usually should be taken to a kind of a early dinner before the sunset. What you dinner after the sunset probably is going to destroy your liver in the long run, or your systemic metabolism. In Ayurveda, we call this Bhuta Agnis, but not needing to go so deep in Ayurvedic jargon. And if we change the order that you eat and when you eat, you are going to be much better. And that's going to cost you nothing concerning herbs and probiotics and supplements. I'm not saying that I'm against herbs, probiotics, and supplements, but the main probiotic in Ayurveda are enzymes. And what do we call enzymes? We call them Agni. Let me write Agni, okay? So the concept of Agni in Ayurveda is going to be, in modern terms, very much related to the idea of enzymes. Improving your enzyme performance is cheap, it's safe, and it's quick. Who doesn't want that? So we finish. You can eat in any order. You have to eat in a specific order, not in any order, please. Let me create a Z of Zorro here. So you shouldn't be eat in any order. You should be eating in Ayurvedic order. Now, number 4. Print screen models are bound to fail, because print screen models are expecting that time and metabolism are inside a lab. So what is our general consideration about science and medicine? In Portuguese, this is called, let me translate this in English, regular temperature, pressure, we can call this humidity conditions. Em português, condição normal, temperatura, pressão. Okay, so this is going to be normal or regular temperature, pressure, humidity. I'm putting this as a kappa consideration. Conditions where your metabolism is expected to be working within that framework all the time. That means you are possible to create a stable prevision of how the metabolism is going to work, because metabolism is conceptualized within this framework. That framework doesn't change during the week, so you can create a perfect model that is going to be properly stable, and you can be following a print screen model that your nutritionist or whatever is going to give you. Monday, you're going to eat like this, Tuesday, you're going to eat like that, and so on. But for us, print screen models are not going to work because nature is not that predictable, and beyond nature, your emotional system is also not completely predictable. So what is the optimal, and maybe you're not going to like that part, sorry for that. The optimal idea of Ayurveda is whenever you wake up, you are going to be prone to observe how you sleep. How did you pass your stools or you did not poo? What is your vitality? And concerning to all those layers, you're going to decide your food preferentially on that day. You're going to decide if you're going to eat beans or chickpeas, if you're going to eat cow's meat, or if you're going to eat pork meats, whatever, according to the day that you are. This might seem a little bit absurd in modern days with refrigerators and so. I'm not advocating that you're going to be just like that doing this, but as long as we go in a very steady but consistent manner, you are going to see by yourself that what you do in that day makes a major difference in how you're feeling or not. That means Ayurveda considers you an intelligent person, not someone, not something that is just a computer that you need to be programmed in a pre-oriented way, disconsidering how life around is. Usually I say, if you can tell me how you are going to dress yourself during the week in advance, and you can follow that. I know that people will say, yes, I can. But I'm not speaking about dressing for a formal way to the work. I'm saying about what your body needs to cover yourself in a more genuine way. If you can pre-order that, then you can preview your food list, but the answer in Ayurveda is it depends. The organic way of life depends on more awareness and less mechanical view or lifestyle that we usually are very much trained in our industrialized factory bell working. So the fifth aspect, there is not only one framework. What is this one framework here? You have to eat in every 2 hours, or you have to eat in intermittent fasting, or you have to eat 3 times a day. The first one has to be a king, the second one a prince, and the third one a servant. All those frameworks usually Western nutrition will accept only one framework as the proper framework that is to be taken by everyone. And Ayurveda, actually, we have at least 3 and in a simple way, we can consider that people that have more ectomorphic metabolism, that Ayurveda will say that it's called Vata metabolism, and pay attention that I'm not saying Vata person, will have to eat roughly, approximately, every 3 hours, because their metabolism is going to benefit from small meals in every 3 hours. Pitta people will have to eat in every 4 hours and a half, approximately. So that means that Pitta will usually have 3 large meals a day, while in Vata we are going to have 5 medium meals a day. And Kapha people we usually have to eat in every 6 hours, approximately. And that means not any time that you want. Sorry for that. A couple will have to eat around 10 a.m. and around 4 a.m. in a perfect world, okay, not that simple, if we are considering an optimum performance for kappa. So in Ayurveda, we consider 3 different frameworks that all of them are right, but none of them is completely true for everyone. And this creates a big window for us to understand why there is so much confusion on general nutrition guidelines. Because if you have a more kappa predominant style of metabolism, and that person is eating twice a day, mainly around 10 and 4 p.m., that is going to be great for that kappa metabolism. But this will make that pitta guy very angry, and that vata person completely, I forgot that word, and the person passes out. And in the same way, when the kappa person tries to eat 5 times a day every 3 hours, the metabolism is going to be completely sluggish. So this is just a general overview of 5 important topics that are very common in Ayurvedic nutrition, even though these concepts are not necessarily from Ayurveda, but Ayurvedic nutrition actually doesn't exist in India in a proper sense. It's a kind of a effort in the West to bring into Western nutrition Ayurvedic concepts, but those frameworks are not properly fixed. So if you have enjoyed this video and you have reached up to here, it's because this video brought you some value. I invite you to share this video with other people and also to like it and comment, because this video are mainly interested in creating a proper Ayurvedic awareness in food and in also Ayurveda style. As I told you, I work with Ayurveda consultations from Brazil online throughout the world since 2012, and also with some Ayurvedic courses that in Brazil they are governmentally approved. If you want to learn a proper Ayurveda that can work in the West, not so much relying upon Ayurvedic protocols with drugs, I invite you to get in contact with us in the description so we can produce courses in the place where you are through the internet and also through different kind of approaches. Okay, so now to finish, let's chant our mantra and be happy. Let's go. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Damvantaraye Amrita Kalashahastaya Sarvamaya Vinashanaya Trailokyanataya Sarveshwaraya Om Shri Mahavishnavi Namah. Om Namaste.